everybody. Today I have a very old book from 1947, and it doesn't even have the cover. And it's called Peter Gets His Wish. And it was written and illustrated by Francis Ingersoll, and the pictures are darling. So let's see, what do you think Peter's wish might be? Peter gets his wish. This is Peter. He is wearing a yellow sweater because it is a sunny day, and he likes to look sunny too. Peter used to live in a big city, up in a very big house. He could go to the window and look down into a beautiful park across the street. He could see children roller skating and riding scooters. He could see lots of brightly colored flowers, too, in neat rows. There he is looking down. One nice sunny day, Peter put on his yellow sweater and went down into the park with his mother. He carried crumbs for the pigeons. The bright red tulips were right near him now. They were so close he could almost reach out and touch one. You see the red tulips? But there were signs all around. They said, "Don't touch," and they said, "Don't pick." "You may look at the flowers," Peter's mother said, "but you must not touch and you must not pick." So Peter put both hands behind him hard, and he said, "No touchings and no pickings today, and no touchings and no pickings tomorrow. But I wish I could." He wanted to pick a whole handful. There he is. It's smart when you're not supposed to touch something to put your hands behind your back or sit on them or fold them, right? Because that helps him not to do it. Then one day, Peter moved away to live in a new house. A big red moving van stopped in the street, and the men carried the furniture into the van. Peter watched. He brought down his own shovel with the red handle and put it in too. It was a nice shovel, but he had never dug with it because there was no place to dig. Anyhow, he put it in the van. And they all drove out to the new house. This picture's torn right here. Peter sat down on his new doorstep. The birds sang and the grass was green, and there was nice brown dirt near the steps. This was his very own park. It was better than a park, and there were no bright flowers. Just then, a little man came down the street. He was leading a dappled horse with a big wagon. The wagon was full of plants, especially pansy plants in baskets. The little man called to Peter, "Hey, little boy, you want to buy some pansies?" "May I?" Peter asked his mother, and she said yes. Peter got his shovel with the red handle, and he dug 5 deep holes near the doorstep. Then he poured in some water from his watering can, and he put the plants in gently and patted the dirt down. Then he gave them all a drink of water. The pansies seemed to be looking up at him. Peter imagined that they had little smiling faces. Peter sat down and looked at his very own garden. There were red pansies and blue pansies. There were yellow ones and purple ones. They looked just like velvet. All of a sudden, Peter remembered he wanted to pick some flowers. He wanted to hold them in his own hands. So he picked every one of the pansies, 2 whole handfuls of them. Look at his little helper, little kitten. That night, Peter began to feel very sad. It had been great fun to pick the flowers, and not having any signs around saying no touching and no pickings ever. But now all the pansies were picked, and in the morning Peter would go out with his watering can, and there would be green leaves but no flowers at all. Bright and early the next morning, he went out with his watering can, and there, what a wonderful surprise and what a joke, there were his pansy plants just covered with new flowers. Red, blue, yellow, and purple. And they were all looking up at Peter. And this morning the pansies seemed to be laughing because it was all such a good joke on Peter. Peter whistled a happy whistle while he pulled up a few weeds and gave all the plants a good drink of water. Then he picked flowers until both hands were full. And right in his hands, they were still laughing. So Peter gets his wish. He gets to pick the flowers and they reflower. Not all flowers reflower that quickly, but some of them do. So I hope you enjoyed the book and the pictures especially. I just thought they were so pretty. I wanted to share that with you.